the outside never decided who they are. So, they could walk full stride and explore the depths and dimensions of life that others never dare to touch because most of the humanity is only concerned about what will happen to me. What will happen to me means what? Will I suffer? That's a question. The first and foremost thing, if you truly want to explore dimensions which we are referring to as another dimension of wisdom or knowing, is that first you must determine the nature of your experience. You have no fear of suffering. Only then, truly exploring human consciousness becomes a reality. Touching dimensions of intelligence, which gives access to the entire universe, becomes a possibility. I'm supposed to open up for questions. Time you ask your questions, please.
The population I work with that are in the verge of homelessness or they're addicts, if I tell them that it is your intellect and it's your perception and this doesn't exist, they will laugh at me because it definitely exists.
Must, because it's the dumbest thing to say.
Right. So I wanted to know the spirituality that you teach, the spirituality that many gurus teach. How is it usable for someone that doesn't have food to eat and it's going to become homeless, and there's so many problems, especially in America? I mean, of course I teach them resiliency, it's a different fact, but every time I want to open my mouth and use some of your teachings, I have to step back.
Now, the first problem is that you believe in the teachings, because this is the problem with the entire world. They've been cultured in some belief or the other. This is what is significant about what is referred to as Sanatana Dharma or what is referred to as the Indian way of looking at things is, this is not a land of belief systems, this is a land of seekers. Never ever were anybody encouraged to believe. If you see anything that comes from that land, you will see it is all about questions, never about a belief system. If you enter an Indian home, in the same house, 5 different people are worshipping 25 different gods and goddesses. They're still not made up their minds, which is… and they have no problem, they'll never fight about it because it's a land of seeking. So, first mistake you make is you believe what I say. I am constantly reminding you, don't believe a goddamn thing that anybody says. But don't be foolish enough to disbelieve it either. All you have to do is experiment with it. Does it work or doesn't work? If it works, you keep it, otherwise rubbish it, what's the problem? Now, about somebody being hungry, somebody being homeless, somebody being in a war zones, all kinds of horrible things are happening on the planet. I am not ignorant of it. Anyway, you said living in a temple. I am not living in a temple. I am more of the world than you are. Every day, I want you to understand, I am running a volunteer organization with over 4,000 full-time volunteers and over 3 million part-time volunteers doing variety of work, huge projects, over a dozen businesses and the spiritual movement, okay? Now, I want you to understand, more things are going wrong with my life on a daily basis than anybody's life. Now, when a man is hungry, if you try to tell him, your intellect is the source of your problem, it's obscene. It's obscene, it's nothing short of that. I never spoke to hungry people and said, your intellect is the source of the problem. I'm talking to people who are bulging in so many ways. In their head and in their body, they're bulging. I'm only talking to that segment of the population. Those who are not fed well, I'm doing social projects with them with nourishment, education, health, all for free. Will I ever go and talk to a starved man in an Indian village and tell him, your intellect is the basis of all your problems? What makes you think that I'm that stupid? Do I look like that? So you also don't do that. This is for you. You need to understand this. There are a million problems on the planet. All these million problems are essentially because those who are reasonably well have never cared to reach out and do what needs to be done in the world. In many ways, they're making sure those people don't get it. Yes, in the year 2012, we have produced enough food for 18.2 billion people. We had only 6.6 billion people in that year. But still, 50% of the population is malnourished and hardly eaten any. This is not because there is no food, this is because you and me have not cared, isn't it? So, is it true? Is it true nobody stabbed you in the last? But is it also true you're suffering various things of tension, stress, anxiety, this, that? Is it a product of your mind or somebody else poking you from outside? It is your reaction to the existential situation outside. Instead of doing what is needed, what you see is when you see something wrong happening or when you see some suffering or something comes your way, you decide to poke yourself. This is about incapacitating yourself. Instead of seeing when there is a problem, you need empowerment, not incapacitating yourself, isn't it? I'm talking about empowering you so that your damn intelligence functions for you, not against you. The moment your intelligence is working against you, no God in the universe is going to help you and can help you. Yes, if your intelligence is turned against you, you are a finished case. I'm saying, first let your intelligence work for you. If it works for you, there are many miraculous things that you can do for all those people who have still not eaten properly, for whom basic things have not been taken care of. That's our business because somehow we've landed in a place where you and me are at least eating well. Once we are in such a privilege, we must use our intelligence to see what is the best thing we can do in the world, not sit here and twist yourself out. I'm saying don't twist yourself out. If you are joyful, naturally you will do the best things you can do. If I meet you when you're very happy, will you be nice? No, I don't believe that. When you're very happy, if I meet you, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. But when you're depressed, when you're unhappy, when you're frustrated, if I meet you, you could be a nasty person. This is true with every human being, isn't it? So the first and foremost work that any human being has to do is that you make this into a pleasant piece of life so that you naturally exude this pleasantness in every possible way. If this is feeling unpleasant and you tell this one to be pleasant, is it going to work? We are trying to fix the stomach-full people.
It was a pleasure listening to you, unbelievable. But my question is, what can I do so that I can acquire your skill of clarity? Honestly, candidly speaking, a very few people, are like you are. I'm sure you have heard this before. What makes you so secure from within and being so candid, honest, truthful, clarity of expression?
I didn't know that's a popular question. When we say clarity, that means I want to tell you a joke, but it's a dirty joke, so I thought I'll skip that one. No, I'll come with something milder, The problem with the human being right now is that we have created a world, we have created education systems where we believe that human beings are essentially all wrong, or the creation is all wrong, or the source of creation or the creator is all wrong, and you gonna fix it. This is a convoluted idea. Instead of paying attention to life, we are coming up with philosophies and philosophies and philosophies. Philosophies are fantastic explanations to that which cannot be explained. If you want to know life, you must pay attention to life, isn't it? Right now, do you agree with me, madam, that this human mechanism is the most sophisticated machine on the… You agree with me? Are you a doctor? Yes. Yes. So, this is such a complex machine, this is the supercomputer, all right? I'm asking, have you bothered to read the user's manual? If you understand how this functions, you would know how to use it. Even if you take a simple gadget like a phone, the more you know about it, the better you can use it, isn't it so? You have definitely, coming from India, you've definitely been bombarded with this thing about realization, self-realization. Let me put it in very simple terms. What self-realization means is, first of all, what the word realization means. Realization is not an achievement, it is not an accomplishment, it is just realization. That means something that's always here, you just manage to see it now. That means you were stupid all your life, just now you saw it. You did not invent something new, you did not ramp yourself up to a mountain. No, you just saw the most obvious thing which was always here, you realized. So, realization means you realized how foolish you've been, everything has been right here and you didn't get it. So there are many ways, of course, most of you being from the Indian origin, I've not read this. I have to admit, I've never read the Gita because it never occurred to me. I'm sorry. I know this is a shock but you know, living in India, bits and pieces of this are always floating around in the air and it's… you know many pieces of it, but I've never really studied it in it. So when, in a certain moment, when Arjuna asked, what is the nature of this truth that you're talking about? Where is it? So Krishna laughed and said, the highest truth about your life is the tip of your… Now there are many schools of yoga intensely focusing on the tips of their noses. Please try it for 2 minutes, you will get a headache. You will not get enlightened. What he is saying is, it is the most obvious thing. It is the most obvious thing. But right now the problem is, all the instruments of perception that you have are outward bound, but the seat of your experience is within you. The fundamental seat of your experience is within you, but all the instruments of perception are outward bound. So how should I do? You must understand, anything beyond survival, if it has to enter your life, some striving is needed. Let's say, as a little infant, you were left in the jungle without human contact. If something edible came in front of you, would you first try your ears, then nostrils, and somehow by accident find your mouth? Is that so? You would just know where to put it, isn't it? So what I'm saying is, everything that is necessary for survival is built into you. You're born with it. The five senses takes care of it. But if you want to know something more, you have to strive. For example, do you remember when you were 3, 4 or 5 years of age, you had to learn to write the alphabet, the damn A, how complicated it was. And on top of it, there were 2 versions. You had to write it 100 times to get it, isn't it? But today with your eyes closed, you can write. If that striving was not there, today could you write? Today would you know language? So anything beyond survival needs striving. Without the needed striving, it won't happen. There are ways to perceive the interiority of who you are, but unfortunately there's been no striving. Right now, we made this technology into such a simple, almost like a physical science. A plus B equals this, or 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 part of oxygen, water will come. If a great scientist puts it together, only water will come. An idiot puts it together, only water will come. So we made the entire Yoga Sutras like this, that if you do this, this and this will happen to you. That simple. And all I'm asking generally from people is about 30 to 32 hours of focused time to develop an instrument where they can turn inward. Oh, 30 hours is too much. I'm saying, if you cannot dedicate a little bit of time to know what this is, that means your existence must be truly worthless. If this is worthwhile, you must pay attention to this, isn't it? If you want to know life, this is life, isn't it? When I say the word life, maybe you're thinking about your profession, your family, your car, your home. No, these are all accessories. This is life, isn't it so? Hello? But no attention has been paid. Your idea of fixing life is fixing all kinds of things. This happened when Shankaran Pillai was going home. No, I'm not done. Shankaran Pillai was going home. It is 7:30 in the evening. The rules at home, the wife's rules are 8, he must be home. It's only 7:30, he thought there's still time, let me have a quick drink and go. He just stepped into the local bar. He had a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink. Then he looked at the time. It's at 2 a.m. You know, drinking people are like yogis, they become timeless. There's a certain correlation. Then it's late and he got off the bar stool and tried to walk. It's such an unfair world. A man is supposed to walk on a round planet. As if that's not enough, it spins. You notice that the planet is round and it's spinning only when you had a few drops more, or a few drops are missing between your 2 ears. Either you're drunk or you have a vertigo, then you notice the planet is round and spinning. Otherwise, you think it's flat and you're going on fine. So with great difficulty, he was walking sideways and trying to find his way home. He was crossing a garden and he flipped over and fell face down into a rose bush. His face became a mess. Then he somehow reached home. And you know, these keyholes are so minute, it took 20 minutes to find the keyhole. Then he found his way up to the bedroom, and then he went into the bathroom and he looked at his face, it was a real mess. Then he opened the medicine cabinet, took out medicine, plaster, band-aid, fixed himself up and slowly crawled into the bed. Fortunately, the wife is a big sleeper. He slept. Morning 8 o'clock, the wife took a bucket full of cold water, and splashed it on him. Water boarded, he woke up. He said, why, it's only a Sunday. She said, you fool, again drinking? He said, honey, 6 months ago I promised you, since then I haven't touched it. He grabbed him by the shirt and took him into the bathroom and showed him all the plaster was on the mirror. Why people have lost their clarity? Why people have lost their clarity is only because of this, that if there is any suffering here, they think this one should be fixed. If something else happens, that one should be fixed. If something else happens, that one should be fixed. Everyday morning prayer means what? Trying to fix the God. Yes, you're trying to fix up the God, isn't it? So, day in and day out, for everything that happens within you, instead of fixing this one, you're trying to fix everything around you. No wonder you'll be confused. We fixed the planet sufficiently, at least in this part of the world. If you fix it anymore, there'll be no planet left. But are people bursting with ecstasy? No. Because clarity has been lost simply because of this. If you understand, if life has to really become beautiful for you, this one has to be fixed. If you understand this one thing, clarity will dawn within.
I actually have a question on chitta. How can you tap into chitta? But you said memory with no effect and the ability to break through cycles.
Right here you want to do that? You can take one fundamental step today. That is, I want you to… Anyway, you already written down the question also, you have the habit of writing things. So you just sit down today before you go to bed, write down. What are all the different types of identities that you have taken? Starting from your body, everything else. Just write it down and see if you can create a little distance from these identifications. Just work on that. That's the first step, that you are not identified with anything. You're just here, throbbing as a piece of life, not as this or that. See, but what can I do? I'm a young woman. Right now, yes, when you sit here among people, if you're just walking by yourself in the garden, you don't really think you're a young woman, or if you are that identified, you can't help it, even there. If you just doze off a little bit, you don't sleep as a young woman, you just sleep simply as life, isn't it? I'm saying something so fundamental as your body and gender, even that identity is only on the surface. Your caste, creed, religion, race, this is even more on the surface. So I'm saying, you can't do it in the day right now, but before you go to bed, see if you can keep all your identities by the bedside table and sleep. To work in the world, you need an identity. Without identity, you cannot function in the world. So before going to sleep, take off all the identities, keep it on your bedside table, morning it'll be there, it'll not go anywhere. Leave it there and go to sleep. You've started the journey.
I would like to hear Guruji's turning point in life where he separated himself from his intellect and his inner self.
Do I like someone who lost my intellect? I didn't think that I was coming out so dumb. She's asking for a story. You want a story? okay? One must understand it's a process that you search for. This started happening to me when I was just around 4.5 years of age. I suddenly realized one day that I don't know anything. I don't know anything means I don't know anything at all. To such an extent, if somebody gives me a glass of water, I would not know what is water. I know if I drink this water, it'll quench my thirst and different ways of using it. I know what to do with it, but I don't know what it is. Well, actually, if you look at it, even today, you don't know what it is. It's the only substance present on the planet in all three different states. 3/4 of the planet is water, nearly 3/4 of your body is water. You're looking for life, you look for a drop of water. There's a lot of excitement, they found a few drops on the Mars. I think people from California need to migrate. So, I'm just staring at this glass of water for hours on it. If I found a dry leaf, I'm just looking at the leaf for 5-6 hours at a stretch. If I sit up in my bed, staring at the darkness, the entire night I'm sitting like this staring. My dear father, being a physician, started thinking I need psychiatric evaluation. This boy is simply staring at something or the other, unblinking he's staring, he's lost it. My problem is, I look at this one, I still do not know this one. There is no way I'm able to shift my attention to another one. So it just held my attention, I couldn't shift. In this condition, they sent me to school. And my mother said, pay attention to the teachers. I went and paid attention to the teachers. The kind of attention that they have never received in their life. And initially I understood the words that they were speaking and what they were trying to say. After some time I realized, they're just making sounds. I'm making up the meanings in my head. Even now, as I speak, I'm only making sounds, you're making up the meanings, isn't it? Because language is a conspiracy between two people. If you have a conspiracy, what do? The Indians, you speak in your language. In India, we have this advantage, we have 1300 languages in the country, we can have lots of conspiracies going because we'll speak in our own language. Actually, I'm only making sounds, isn't it? You're making up the meanings. So when I realized I'm the one who's making up all the meanings, I stopped making the meanings, then I just heard the sounds with full attention. This is the problem with most people. The moment they don't understand, they think they need not pay attention. What you do not understand needs more attention than what you understand, isn't it? So as I watched teacher after teacher coming in and making noises and noises and noises and going, it became very amusing to me and a huge smile spread on my face. They were not at all amused. My schooling went like this, very consistent. Because I remember this so well. I don't know if you still have this. You still have those monthly tests and report cards that your parents have to sign and your children have to get it to you, stuff like that? So, monthly report cards come, I see in the schools, some children are strutting around because they're first or second, some are sitting and crying because they're afraid to go home with their marks card. Never once in my entire school life did I ever open and see. The teachers gave me the card, I took it and gave it to my father. I thought this is a transaction between the two of them. I had nothing to do with this. Because I was very consistent, I always got 6 zeros. Because I always gave an empty paper. If they insisted, I put my name on it. Otherwise, I gave an empty paper, as a rule. When the final exam came, I wrote something and went to the next class. Otherwise, all my tests I got 0, 0, 0, 0. Because million things, I have a billion questions in my mind about everything. There is nobody around who's capable of answering these questions, but they're trying to stuff something else into you, which I'm not interested in. So, school went like this. This is about 8 years ago. This school where I studied nearly 45 years ago, they came to invite me for their 125th anniversary. So the trustees, the third generation of trustees came to invite me. They said, "You must come." I said, "See, I was not just a not good student. I was not even a student, why me, You call the brilliant students of your school, why me?" They said, our school has produced union ministers, our school has produced cricketing stars, our school has produced film stars, you are the only mystic, you must come. So, okay. So I went there to speak and and I went and stood up in the quadrangle, looked around the same oppressive building. And I suddenly remembered this classroom. I was about 13 years of age. One afternoon, the teacher is trying to get a response for some question he is asked. I hear the sounds, but I don't hear the words. After some time, I don't even hear the sounds, I don't even see their forms, I just see all kinds of things. I know their past, present and future, but I don't know what he's saying. I know his entire life better than him, but I don't know what he's saying. And 35–40 minutes, he desperately tried to get a response from me. But those days I'm made like this, sometimes 3 days, 4 days I don't utter a word, not because I'm in silence or something. When you don't know anything, what do you say? Devotion means tool to demolish yourself. A tool to destroy your intentions, your visions, your dream, so that you become not a tiny little creature, so that you become a nameless little creature in this cosmos, but you become the very hand of the Divine. Devotion is not a deal that you make. Too much deal-making is happening in the name of devotion. Deal-makers and devotees are two different people. One belongs to the marketplace, another belongs to the divine. They're two different worlds altogether. You need to understand this. The moment you sit down to make a deal, it is the dharma of a deal that you should do your best to be smarter than the other. You don't want to make a dumb deal, do you? When you sit down to make a deal, you want to be smarter than the other. If you take this attitude with the divine, you have lost before you start. You sit with the existence like this, You sit with your guru like this, you lost even before you start. You don't have to run the race, you anyway lost. You cannot win. Because the very fundamental purpose has been defeated. And now what? So don't lose out on the tremendous power of devotion because you have a stupid deal in your hand. Can you ask, what kind of deal can you make with the creation and the creator? Only a dumb deal. Because you do not know what possibility the cosmos holds. You only know the little nonsense that you have experienced in your life. If you are in touch with an energy, at least you're in the presence of an energy which is the source of creation, and you ask, I want to get a job, I want to get married, how stupid can you get? You don't know what it holds. Isn't it best, do whatever you want with me? If you found contact, isn't it best to leave it to the source of creation, do whatever you want with me? No, get me a job, I want increment, I want promotion. Don't do that to yourself. If at any time you find yourself in the presence of something which seems to be larger than you in some context, that's a time you don't try to make a deal, just shut up and be. Just see how you can receive. So that's devotion, that you understand. Becoming the hand of the divine is a far bigger possibility than making a deal, however big the deal seems to be in your head. Deals and deals always going on, everywhere, with life and death, deals are going on. From deals to devotion is a transformation. It is like if I give you filth, you give me something fragrant and wonderful? No. If I give you filth, you will want to give me more filth. But please see how the creation functions. If you give this tree filth, it'll give you flowers. This is the way of the divine. If you really become a devotee, you become the hand of the divine, and that's how it will be. Whatever is thrown at you is nourishing. Whatever comes your way is wonderful for you because whatever comes, you know how to transform it into something beautiful. That's devotion. Deal means you want to get the flowers, you want to give the filth to somebody else. If you do that deal, after that, you will get excluded, isn't it? You will get excluded from any group of people, or ultimately you will get excluded from the way the creation is happening. When we say yoga, we are talking about a union. A union means that you don't exist here as a creature by yourself, you exist here as part of the divine. You exist here as part of the creation and the creator, that you become one with everything, that you are not one little crawly creature who goes around doing its own thing. But the whole idea, juvenile idea of freedom means you want to do your own thing, isn't it? A wrong idea, a wrong attitude, a wrong emotion can cause much more damage than poison. So this is why asatoma sadgamaya, asatoma… Sadhguru, already I said it. No, you must tell it every moment of your life. Every moment of your life, this is the journey, that you're moving from untruth to truth. Otherwise, what is not true can be made to look true in your mind. Once you make untruth into truth in your mind, then that untruth will poison the very way you exist. Then you wonder why suffering is coming in search of you. Well, it's bound to. How else will it? If it doesn't come, that means my life has failed. Suffering must come if you're doing the wrong things, isn't it? Someone very carefully went up the tree. Another fool tried to run up and fell down. If nothing happens to him, the one who has the skill to climb up is a fool, isn't it? Is so, isn't it? One who has paid attention, one who has taken care to acquire the necessary skill to do something in a proper way. If him and a fool who has not paid any attention to anything happens the same way, then the man who paid attention to all these things is a fool, isn't it? So, I'm not really against. It's my wish that you should not suffer. But if you're stupid and you want to do idiotic things to yourself, you must suffer, because only if suffering comes you will stop doing stupid things. Suppose… do you see, suppose you have a wound which is drying up, you want to… huh? Pandringdane? Pandringdane? Huh? If it goes deep enough, when it hurts, you stop. Suppose it did not hurt, you would pull out your intestines. Yes? Do not underestimate yourself. If there was really no pain in your body, as you sit in the satsang, you know, like how you blow chewing gum, you blow your lungs out to show me how big a lungs you got. Yes, you would do. Do not underestimate yourself. Do not underestimate your own… Somebody is doing something else to make your impression, you'll take your intestines and… because if you as much as touch it with a pin, it hurts so badly. Wherever you do not know the pain, you do not know the pain of a tree, you do not know the pain of an animal, you do not know the pain of other things, all those things you're chopping, isn't it? Only this one you know, so you're preserving. So, it is fine, you're doing good. At least you know this much. Just has to expand, that's all. Now, because you know the pain of what this is, you're keeping this well. If you just begin to feel the pain of the mountain, you would keep the mountain well. If you understand the pain of the cosmos, you would keep everything well, isn't it? That is what yoga means. Union, that everything has become a part of you, and devotion, that dimension which will obliterate the boundaries between what is you and what is not you very effortlessly.
If something in you became quieter, clearer, or maybe even more restless after this video, then it was already worth it. Let us know what you felt, tell us your city, and if you can, subscribe and send it to someone who would appreciate this too. These little actions help the message go further. Thank you, Big Hug, and see you in the next video.